Welcome back to the Crucible here in Newbury in the latest event from the Taom Pool Shootout Series, and what a dramatic finish to match-up number 3. We move straight on to match 4 and get ready to meet our next 2 players. Introducing, first of all, one of the most exciting, watchable players in the game, a former world champion. He is the lightning quick Shaun Chipperfield.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
And his opponent, a Northern Ireland international and a former hockey international, now flying the flag here on the Taom Shootout pool table. A warm welcome, please. So that's how we stand. Martin McIntosh by the skin of his teeth, or the skin of those trousers, which I notice have already been taken off and they've been dumped on our chair here.
Right next to us in the commentary
How did
box.
that
What a
happen?
horrible sight.
Has he just derobed in the commentary box?
Yeah, it's just come and exposed himself in the commentary box.
Well, no one needs that.
No. I think his shoes are there as well. I smelt them before I could see them.
They're slightly more subdued. Straightforward black shoes.
Just a standard black shoe. How boring. Well, we see Dan Clarke here, the qualifier from Northern Ireland. He's broke first up and made a ball. He's in first against Lightning, Shaun Chipperfield. I think there'd be some arguments going on between who the quickest player in the world is. And I think we've probably got all 3 of them in this Taom Shootout today. Jordan Shepherd, Jordan Church and Shaun Chipperfield. He is a real treat for you guys to watch. Great as a neutral, plays lightning fast, but he is bags and bags of ability too, so should be really good to watch. Not mentioning as well, he is ultra aggressive. Doesn't turn down a finish, doesn't like to cover pockets, doesn't like to play tactical frames, just wants to entertain. He's going for the ballsy double here. Play this. No, he's just straightened up a little bit there and he's not quite got the angle. Now this is quite a good chance for Dan Clarke here to take a lead in this match. I must confess, like we said before, we don't know an awful lot about him as a pool player, but he is a former international with over 100 caps for Northern Ireland at hockey, which is no mean feat.
No.
Played for Great Britain too.
Well, I'm just relieved that he entered the arena with pool cue rather than hockey stick. Otherwise we could have all been in trouble.
He's a fairly tall guy as well, so I can see why into his hockey, those long levers.
I used to absolutely, that was one of the sports when I was at school and we had to play it in games I absolutely despised.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I just remember we always had to play it in late autumn or winter, and you just lost any feeling in your hands within about 10 minutes.
On the gravel pitches as well.
Yeah, and then the only time that feeling would come back in your cold hands is when that rock hard ball cannoned up and hit it.
Yeah, that was
Didn't like it at all.
horrible.
Anyway, that's by the by. Meanwhile, this is going on. No problem.
It's a
But
great
he
start.
probably could have made that clearance with a hockey stick.
Oh, he could have. Cue balls on a string.
Beautiful.
Looks very composed, calm. Looks a very good player. Very good player.
The quiet man.
I find it a lot with people that excel at one sport. They tend to be good at most things. There aren't many people.
It's really annoying, isn't it?
Yeah. There aren't many people that are very, very good at something, like world level good at something. No matter what it is. There's always 2 or 3 other things that they're really good at, you know. And so Dan Clarke's one of those. Takes a 1-0 lead, and the cue ball was on a string there for that finish. Well, that was a fairly easy one, it should be mentioned. Bit of an awkward finish it for Shaun as well. Whether he goes reds or yellows, he's got a couple of problem areas, but kind of one of those where even if you are Shaun Chipperfield, you probably want a bit more thinking time, and that he hasn't got. I like the way he plays the game. He's got a difficult ball down the cushion. He's playing it straight away, and he's backed himself to get it. He's made it. He's by no means out of the woods yet, because this is still quite difficult, but he's got this annoying habit of making it look ever so easy.
I'm trying to think now of elite sportsmen who've excelled at other sports.
Ian Botham?
Well, Ian Botham, certainly. He played for Scunthorpe, didn't he? I was actually thinking of Ian Botham's son, Liam, who started off as an accomplished cricketer. Then he signed for Leeds Rhinos Rugby League. I know that because that's my rugby league team. And he played professionally rugby league and rugby union. And now there's no transferable skills you wouldn't have thought between cricket and rugby.
What a shot there from Shaun Chipperfield. That's why he's in this shootout. He just hammered that in at 100 miles an hour. Made that look like it was over the pocket. That was ridiculous.
Another brilliant clearance. Well, we've been talking nonsense in the commentary box. What a piece.
Absolutely ridiculous. It's almost like he left himself out of position on purpose.
Just to show how good he is. Can I have a drink, he says. Yes,
Ain't got time for a drink, Shaun. I think there's a darts player, Colin Osborne.
Oh, yes.
He used to play for Middlesbrough Football Club. He's one. I'm struggling now. That's all I've got.
There are plenty more. I'm sure I'll find another.
But they all tend to be, you know, the amount of cricketers or tennis players, and you hear there are 3 handicap at golf. Sean Murphy, snooker.
Oh, he's excellent at golf.
I think he's a scratch golfer, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, that hand-eye coordination just kind of, yeah.
Well, Ronnie O'Sullivan, since he got into running, his times are ridiculous. He's a proper good runner.
Yeah, I read his book. Yeah, 10k in about 34 minutes.
So that's obscene.
Silly, yeah.
I'm a decent runner, and I do a 10k in. I think my best is kind of like mid-40s, 47, 48.
Really?
Yeah. I think if you nudge under 50, then you would say that's a decent time.
I suppose 8-minute miles, yeah. You see Dan Clarke's in here, but he's second favourite in this frame. Shaun's on yellows, and be interested to see what kind of player Dan is. You know, is he going to attack here like probably Shaun Chipperfield would? Is he going to try and cover a pocket or make this tactical? Maybe try and get Shaun out of his comfort zone.
Well, the aforementioned Martin McIntosh has wandered in. Quite how those trousers have ended up in the commentary box, I've absolutely no idea. Let's have a quick word with him while he's here. I'll just stand up. Huge sigh of relief when you got over the line there.
Yeah, I was nervous. Did you see me twitch that last red, and then I was out. I thought I was out.
Yeah, it went both ways. I mean, you seemed in control, then off. You know, you let him back in, and then you must have thought, hang on a minute, I could lose this. Well, he had a shot to win it, didn't he?
I kept looking at the clock when I was getting closer to the black, and then I was like, okay, just run the clock down a bit, and then before I knew it, I played for the double in the middle, underhut it, but it was because of the shot clock, obviously. It gets to you, so I played a bad shot again there, and then I was like, what did I do with the black? I was like, double hit it hard, you'll run out of time, and then you should have won. I don't know.
Right, Martin, I've been waiting to ask you this for a while. Can you talk us through your attire, please? I mean, I can't. We're struggling here. You're either best dressed by a mile or worst dressed by a mile.
I like wearing tartan because I'm a proud Scot, but these trousers came from God knows where, mate. Online, and you know what they're meant to be. I've been called Tesco's tartan, teletext, every name.
Did they set you back a fair bit? Did somebody make them for you?
No, I bought them online.
Really?
Yeah, I bought them online. I'm going to start selling them, get them branded. Start selling them, so everybody's got to wear them here, I think.
A 2-1, by the way. Chipperfield, another lightning quick frame. Just one more before you go. It was. I felt for you because I could see you said you'd never really got going, and was it one of those you just I've got through, and you'll see the real me in the next one?
If I'm being honest, it was the guys before the game. They come up and says, "Oh, you got the draw, you can't lose." It gets to you more. Do you know what I mean? Like, the better the player, the better you play. So I was saying to myself, I was like, but then once you see him play, you're like, no, you can't. This guy can't play. So, but unfortunately, he missed that red. So I feel sorry for him.
Well played, you through, and we'll see you again in the quarterfinals this evening. That's Martin McIntosh making his way. He's got the skinny jeans back on now. I think I preferred the tartan, to be honest. Meanwhile, 2-1.
Is he wearing socks?
Yeah, that was a feature of
Another pet hate of mine.
Feature of the last event, wasn't it? In Manchester. A lot of players with no socks on.
I'd ban it.
Keeping blister plasters in business.
If it was my event, they'd be out. You're not wearing that.
Well, suddenly we've got a game here. 2-1. Chipperfield, lightning quick.
It's just typical Shaun, isn't it?
It's
Really?
Dan Clarke.
Typical Shaun. We're 9 minutes in, and 9 minutes in. Dan's just missed there, but he's turned this match around quick as a flash, Shaun Chipperfield, and like I say, he's one of those players that seems to make the tricky finishes look ever so easy. This one, another tricky one. Just those 3 yellows at the top of the table. Just needs to figure out how he's going to attack them, what he's going to do. Is he going to play a plant? Is he going to try and disturb them?
Sorry for the break in commentary. Someone just came in the commentary box and said, do you know if the snooker tables are upstairs? I have no idea. I've never been here before.
Wow. Not right, can you? It's a great shot from Shaun Chipperfield. It's brilliant. It's instant reaction, deep screw on that, and it's just missed it. It's just missed it. Almost fouled. Red stayed up by the skin of his teeth. The shot before that was brilliant from Shaun. Just that he's so creative. It's unlucky from Danny. He played the right shot there. It was definitely the right shot to play, because if he'd have nudged into the black, it would have opened everything up for him. And at the moment, that is his biggest problem. Aside from the next shot, because he's sort of out of position now.
Like an arrow.
Fantastic shot. It's brilliant.
Never missing.
I can imagine he's quite good at darts as well, Dan Clarke.
Oh, he will be.
Practically placed them in the board.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Roland Sholton.
Ah, the tripod.
The tripod. Cross between Roland Sholton and Mick Hucknall.
Wow.
Needs this to come back out.
There's also a footballer he looks like. His name will come to me. Played for Newcastle in midfield. Anyway.
We'll carry on the lookalikes later. I'm enjoying this. He's cued across that. He just needed to leave himself angle, and he was dead straight, so it was always going to be It's awkward queuing for Shaun. He's just about made it.
He's so good to watch.
Yes.
You were right when I asked you about him. You said he's a watchable player. You don't lie.
Oh, you'll love watching him. It's a great addition to this event.
And don't blink, because when your eyes come back open, this is going to be another frame on the board. It's going to be 3 on the spin for Chippy. And just like that, he leads 3-1. And he's loving life in Newbury. Great contest, this one. I hope those guys who popped in the commentary box have found these snooker tables. I assume they're upstairs. We're doing our business on the ground floor. What have you noticed out of the commentary box?
They've just walked past. They seem to have gone through the club and then gone all
they're
the way
outside
back
now.
out to the car park. Yeah. For those of us here at the Crucible in Newbury, we are literally opposite Newbury Racecourse. It's a great setting.
On the other
Literally
side's
opposite.
just an industrial estate with a
Yeah.
juicens and a screw fix.
Soon to be opening their second branch, so to speak, in Reading. So it'll be
There you
the
go.
Crucible Reading. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, the owners here. One of the owners, Jason Francis. There's 3 owners. One of the owners, Jason Francis, is I think used to be Ronnie O'Sullivan's manager.
Ah, the Jason who does the Legend Circuit.
Yeah, that does the Legends circuit. He's the owner. He's around today.
Okay, I see. I know Jason. I didn't realise.
Yeah. He's one of the owners here. Great guy, and yeah, they're opening another club in Reading, and so probably about half an hour down the road for those of you that don't know the local sort of area. Opening in sort of December time, so hopefully it's just as good as this place. They had a draw in here last night. They do a raffle. They do a weekly Friday raffle, £1 a ticket, and you have to pick a card. So your cards are numbered 1 to 52, and it builds up and builds up. So if no one wins it, so if you win your raffle, you then have to pick a card off the board, and if it's the Joker, you win whatever's in the pot. And it's been going on for about 40 weeks, and it was up to £10,700, and there were only 3 cards left. So last night there were people buying 50 tickets, 100 tickets. I bought 10. I don't normally come here. I felt a bit of a fraud, really, trying to win out of a. But local guy won it. Yeah, won £10,700 from.
Wow.
And he only bought 6 tickets.
Ah, incredible.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It just builds and builds and builds, and
And
then
he
the
felt
money
good
that
going home that night.
yeah, they sold 1,600 tickets last night, so that then kick-starts the
next
next one. So next week there's already £1,600 in the pot. But obviously the more it builds, the more people want to buy tickets, as they're. It's a great idea. Back to the pool, and Dan Clarke's got a. Probably would call this a must-win frame, to be honest. At 3-1 down. He's got one problem ball, which is the yellow on the right-hand side cushion. It's going to be the key to winning this frame, but he needs it. The quiet man. Well, he's got as close to it as he realistically could have wanted to. It's just going to have to leave himself a difficult black.
Yeah,
I
it's
think,
still
'cause
tough. I mean, it's a really the best he could have played onto the yellow, but it's the yellow to black that remains difficult.
he's just a bit straight. I think he's kept it. Oh, there's generous pockets. I think because a brand new table, brand new cloth, they do kind of slide in a little bit, but they play a bit more generous to start with. This is tough. The white might be close to the corner, to the middle pocket. I think he's at the draw. It's not there.
Wow,
No.
he seems surprised that didn't drop.
Looked into me.
Oh, I was unlucky. He was trying to dislodge those two. Now, what have you got here, Shaun? Bit of magic. Punch this off 3 cushions.
Oh,
wow! That's what he's in this shootout for.
What a shot!
That is what he's in this tournament for.
What a shot! Even done at the referee like that one.
He can't stop. He can't stop smiling himself.
Dan Clarke, you see, just thought, wow, can't compete with that. Still not there yet, though.
I think he wanted to screw back a bit more. I think the double's going to be difficult now.
Yeah, missed a double kiss. Yeah, he's missed it.
Yeah, has he fluked it in the
No, he hasn't.
middle? No.
So reprieve for Dan.
What a shame. What a shame. Shot of the day, probably. And yeah, just need to screw back a little bit more there.
Well, that and the snooker escape from the earlier match.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous. There's too many.
3-2. Plenty of time.
It's a big break, balls down. Shaun will stay at the table. Whether he goes yellows or reds, the tricky part of the clearance is going to be the 2 over on the top left-hand side of the table. Now, I think if he gets right behind it, the red will go. If you can get the white right on that left-hand side cushion, he can pot the red and just top it through and probably play the black into the opposite corner, but that's going to be the key to this frame. He's run out of time. No, he was fine, he had time there. You've got to deliver the cue before you play, before the time ends. The shot hasn't got to be completed before the time ends. It was a good shot from Shaun. He took his medicine. It wasn't time to sort of carry on digging, if you like, and he's kind of taking control in the top left-hand corner of the table, but I think we're going to see the shot from Dan. He's already looked at it. He's obviously a quick thinker because he saw it straight away. Is the yellow near his elbow now? As we looked on the screen, the yellow, you can play that off of the red into the left-hand corner pocket, and that'll open up the yellow and black as well. So he's actually not in a bad spot here. He's going to have to trust a bit to luck. He's underhit that a fair bit. I think he wanted to be playing that into the left middle pocket, and to get good position, he's probably going to play the double here. No, he's gone into the knot.
Well, he didn't play the double, and that's why it was all a bit chaotic, that shot.
Yeah, I'm not sure I liked it the way he played that. Now, does Shaun just screw into the yellow and black and red? And he's probably going to be on something. This is where you haven't really got much time to think. Yeah, he did try that. It's not quite. He would love to have just flicked the yellow first before going into the red. Now he's in a bit of trouble. A bit of a messy frame on our hands here.
Yeah. Been a good contest up to now. It's a key moment in the game.
It's unlucky. It was a good effort. Just trying to get the white in behind the yellow and black. Not quite made it. Yeah, I think we're going to see Shaun play this with a lot of top spin, maybe left-hand side as well, depending on what angle he's got, to try and disturb the black and yellow. Oh no, he's not. He didn't have the angle to. What a shot! Oh, you don't know what he's going to do. He's a nightmare to commentate on. I love it, but I hate it. Oh well, we could be looking here at 3 apiece.
Yeah, you would expect so now.
I think we probably are.
I think Shaun expects so, certainly. Has he just gone the wrong side of that?
It's just about okay, I think.
Yeah, just held it. Shouldn't be a problem, but these are nervy moments.
Yeah, just wants to keep the white away from that right middle pocket on the way back up. Ideally, he would have liked to have left himself nicely on it into the middle, and this is now, well, it's missable. I don't expect him to get it still, but there's pressure on this that there shouldn't have been.
This for 3-3.
No, he's missed it. He's queued across it. Oh, from that turn.
And he's left an absolute gift. Wow. And I'm not sure there's any way back now.
No, I think the best he can hope for is to try and scrape 2 frames in 6 minutes, but that was well, it's 3-all or 4-2, and he is going to be devastated.
You're right. I mean, it was a shot he should have made, but it was a shot he shouldn't have left himself either.
No, he needs a frame and he needs it quickly. He's made a ball.
Yeah, he needs a dish.
He needs a break and finish. Yeah, he can't afford for another scrappy frame. He's going to eat up too much time. And he's missed. And
You sense he's probably gone. Been an afternoon of near misses and what ifs, hasn't it? So many matches just swiveled on one moment.
Yeah, this has been a topsy-turvy match. This could easily have been 4-2 to Dan Clarke as we sit here. And exactly what Dan Clarke doesn't need is a scrappy frame. But 5 minutes is a little bit more than you think. I mean, you can easily break and finish in a couple of minutes. So you'd think he's probably got about 2.5 to 3 minutes to win this frame, if you take into account racking the balls up as well. But he's not even at the table at the moment, so he's probably looking more likely for a 5-2 win for Shaun. Well, I don't think Shaun's going to finish these. Mind you, I've said that before. So Dan's probably going to get back to the table. Now, he's got time.
Yeah, there is time.
He's just about got enough.
It's not the first time this afternoon that I've written a player off too early.
No, I mean, he's got a tough ball down the cushion over on the right hand side of the table, but if he knocks that in, this frame's probably only got a minute left.
It takes real mental resolve to respond to what he did in the previous frame.
Yeah, because although he ran out of position, which is ultimately actually probably what made it tough. If Shaun had just missed the black and left Dan that black, he probably would have got it. But the fact that he'd run out of position should have been.
He was annoyed at the setup.
Yeah.
And now he'll still be annoyed at that.
Now, has he just got the angle to stun across? He has just to stay away from that middle.
Oh, this is horrible.
Well, if anyone shouldn't be bothered by being Chinese snookered,
it's a man that tall. But this is awful. How on earth do you get on the black even if you land this? He's made it, but
he's got it.
Oh, that's as well as he could have played that.
It's a great shot. Now this is tougher than the one he's just missed. Much tougher.
Yes.
He's got it.
Now over to Donna Evans to do her speedy best.
Well, well.
(4-3). We're going to have about 2 minutes. Is there time for Dan Clarke to force sudden death?
He's got time and he knows it.
And there won't be time for an outright winner, unless, of course, it's Shaun.
He'll need a dry break from Shaun, because if Shaun gets his hand on the table, he can...
He's in no rush either.
He knows. I mean, he waited, and we said this in the John McAllister match, you know. This is...
It's dry.
It's
and
crucial times.
Not a bad spread.
No, the Reds are looking all right.
Reds look good.
He has got time.
The yellows are pretty grim, but we've got 90 seconds to take us to sudden death.
He could do this. He could do this.
Yeah, they're all there. They're all potable.
Red left middle.
The red below
right
the
middle.
yellow centre goes.
Yeah.
No problem with the two
He's got time.
to the bottom. Wow.
Oh, I think he's just gone too straight. If the white was a little bit lower, he could have just gone up to the centre of the table and then stunned back down.
Yeah,
So
this
he's
has suddenly got more tricky. This.
Yeah.
It was. He could have just rolled them all in. Now he can't.
Where's it landing? Bit of
Oh,
luck.
no.
Any
No,
luck?
No.
No luck.
That could be it, I'm afraid. Oh dear.
That is it. So close, but so far. He's put up a real good fight, hasn't he, Dan Clarke? Good player that we knew not a lot about.
I know he's missed a lot.
He's given 2 shots away, and that will be frame and match, I'm afraid. But a real good effort from Dan. I've been impressed. He's a good player. I don't want to call him a good stick with his hockey background, but he's done well.
Just a couple of inches on a couple of shots in this match have cost him.
Yeah. I mean, he could have won this frame. There are a couple of others that he should have won. And yeah, they've shook hands.
4-3. That doesn't tell the whole story. Great for Shaun Chipperfield that his exciting brand of pool will take us into the evening session, but a story of what-ifs for the former hockey international Dan Clarke. Great show from Hill. He'll be ruining those couple of poor positional shots which have ultimately cost him a say. But it's Chipperfield who goes through to play Martin McIntosh. And next we have a wild card, all will be revealed. And he will be up against money-making Craig Lakin. That's next.